What if I told you that 7 simple compounds, each taken at just 5 grams a day, could quietly reprogram the way your body handles inflammation, fat storage, and muscle growth? Last year, I caught my reflection in the mirror and didn't recognize the man staring back at me. My shoulders looked smaller. My stomach looked softer. My joints felt like they were packed with sand. I was waking up stiff, tired, and swollen, even though I thought I was doing everything right, walking daily, drinking water, taking the usual vitamins everyone over 60 is told to take, and yet inside my body, something was still burning, something was still shrinking, something was still breaking down. What most people never realize is that after 60, inflammation doesn't always scream. It whispers. It quietly steals muscle while you sleep. It slows your metabolism without asking permission. It traps fat around your belly and hips and tells your body to hold on tighter every year. And the worst part? Most of the advice we follow barely touches the root of it. Pain pills numb it. Basic supplements tick a box. Walking keeps you mobile but doesn't rebuild what's already been lost. I didn't understand this fully until I started experimenting with something different. 5G every day of 7 specific compounds most seniors have never even considered taking properly. Not magic, not hype, just precise, targeted support that speaks directly to the fire inside aging tissue. Within weeks, the stiffness eased, the swelling softened, the belly began to shrink, and my strength, the kind that makes you stand taller without thinking about it, started to come back. In this video, we will reveal all 7 compounds ranked from least powerful to most powerful so you know exactly where to start and what deserves your attention first. And trust me, number 2 is the one that shocked me the most. It didn't just calm inflammation, it changed how my body responded to everything I ate and every weight I lifted. I've placed the supporting studies and sources below so you can look at them yourself if you're curious. Before we dive in, here's a quick question. How old are you right now, and what's the one thing you wish your body would fix first? I read through your comments personally, and I truly care about what you're dealing with. Now let's start with number 7, the one almost nobody talks about, yet it quietly lays the foundation for everything that follows. Number 7, glutamine. Most people have never given glutamine a second thought, and honestly that is a huge mistake because this amino acid is one of the most abundant in your entire body, and it plays a role in almost everything that matters when it comes to fighting inflammation and protecting muscle. Glutamine is the primary fuel source for your immune cells, particularly the white blood cells and the cells lining your intestinal wall. This means when your glutamine levels drop, your immune system weakens, your gut barrier starts to break down, and inflammatory molecules begin flooding into your bloodstream through a process scientists call intestinal permeability, or what most people know as leaky gut. A study published in the journal Clinical Nutrition found that supplementing with 5G of glutamine daily significantly reduced markers of gut inflammation and improved intestinal barrier function within just 14 days. What makes this so important for fat loss and muscle building is the cascade effect. When your gut is inflamed, your body pumps out cortisol, the stress hormone, and elevated cortisol directly promotes fat storage around your midsection while simultaneously breaking down muscle tissue for energy. So, by healing the gut lining, glutamine essentially turns off one of the biggest hidden switches driving belly fat accumulation and muscle loss. Researchers at the University of São Paulo also found that glutamine supplementation enhanced muscle glycogen replenishment after exercise, meaning your muscles recover faster and hold on to their fullness and strength more effectively between workouts. The best way to take your 5G is to dissolve the powder in room temperature water and drink it first thing in the morning on an empty stomach, because this is when your gut lining is most receptive to repair and when cortisol levels are naturally highest and most in need of modulation. You can also split the dose and take half in the morning and half immediately after any physical activity, as this timing maximizes both gut healing and muscle recovery simultaneously. Glutamine is tasteless and mixes easily, so there is really no excuse not to make this a daily habit starting today. And if you think glutamine sounds impressive, wait until you hear what the next compound does to inflammation at the cellular level. But before we continue, if you have been enjoying the video so far, hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you don't miss more videos like this. Number 6, collagen peptides. Collagen is the most abundant protein in your body, making up roughly 30% of your total protein content, and it is the structural glue holding together your skin, joints, tendons, bones, and even your gut lining. Yet, production drops by approximately 1 to 1.5% every single year after age 25, which means by the time you reach 50, you have lost nearly a quarter of your body's collagen, and the consequences show up everywhere. A major study published in the journal Nutrients found that supplementing with hydrolyzed collagen peptides at 5 grams per day significantly reduced blood levels of inflammatory cytokines while simultaneously stimulating fibroblast activity, which is the cellular process that rebuilds connective tissue throughout your entire body. What most people do not realize is that collagen peptides contain a unique amino acid profile rich in glycine, proline, and hydroxyproline. And glycine in particular has been shown in research from the Salk Institute to act as a powerful anti-inflammatory agent by inhibiting the activation of NF-κB, which is essentially the master switch that controls inflammation in your body. When that switch stays turned on constantly, which happens with aging and poor diet, you get chronic joint pain, accelerated muscle breakdown, increased visceral fat deposition, and faster skin aging all at once. The fat loss connection is particularly fascinating because a study in the British Journal of Nutrition demonstrated that collagen peptide supplementation combined with moderate resistance training led to significantly greater fat mass reduction and lean body mass increase compared to training alone, suggesting collagen gives your body the raw materials to prioritize muscle building over fat storage. For maximum absorption, take your 5 grams of hydrolyzed collagen peptides dissolved in warm water or coffee about 30 minutes before breakfast, and consider adding a small amount of vitamin C from a squeeze of lemon, because vitamin C is an essential cofactor for collagen synthesis and dramatically enhances how effectively your body utilizes the peptides you are consuming. Choose a product that specifies type 1 and type 3 collagen from grass-fed bovine or wild-caught marine sources, as these provide the broadest spectrum of benefits for joints, skin, gut, and body composition simultaneously. Now that you understand how collagen rebuilds your structural foundation, the next compound attacks inflammation through a completely different and incredibly powerful pathway. Number 5, creatine monohydrate. Almost everyone associates creatine with young bodybuilders trying to bulk up, but the cutting-edge research emerging over the past several years has completely rewritten the story on this compound, revealing it to be one of the most effective anti-inflammatory, fat-fighting, and muscle-preserving substances ever studied in human clinical trials, especially for people over 40. A groundbreaking study published in the journal Scientific Reports demonstrated that creatine supplementation significantly reduced levels of tumor necrosis factor alpha and interleukin-6, two of the most destructive inflammatory molecules in your body, while simultaneously enhancing mitochondrial function, which is your cell's ability to produce clean energy without generating excessive oxidative stress and inflammation as byproducts. The reason creatine is so transformative for body composition is that it works by saturating your muscles with phosphocreatine, which provides rapid energy for muscle contractions. But beyond that immediate performance boost, researchers at McMaster University found that 5g of creatine daily increased lean muscle mass and decreased fat mass in older adults performing basic resistance exercises. And remarkably, these benefits were observed even in participants who were only doing light exercise like walking and body weight movements. What happens at the metabolic level is that more muscle tissue means a higher resting metabolic rate, so your body burns more calories even while sleeping, creating a natural fat-burning environment without any extreme dietary restriction. Creatine also draws water into muscle cells, creating a state called cellular hydration that triggers anabolic signaling pathways, essentially telling your body to build and repair muscle rather than break it down. which directly counteracts the muscle-wasting effects of chronic inflammation and aging. The preparation could not be simpler because creatine monohydrate is the most studied and most effective form. So take 5G mixed into any liquid you prefer at any time of day, since timing has been shown to be far less important than consistency, though many researchers suggest taking it with a meal containing carbohydrates and protein to slightly enhance uptake into muscle tissue through the insulin response. Skip the loading phases that old articles recommend, because research confirms that 5G daily reaches full muscle saturation within 3 to 4 weeks without any of the bloating or stomach discomfort that higher loading doses can cause. But here's where things start getting really exciting, because the next compound on this list targets inflammation at its root cause in a way that few substances can match. Number 4, omega-3 fish oil concentrate. If inflammation is a fire burning inside your body, then omega-3 fatty acids are the most powerful fire extinguisher nature has ever created. And the research supporting this is so overwhelming that even the most conservative medical institutions in the world now recommend omega-3 supplementation for nearly everyone. Yet most people are still dramatically underdosing and therefore missing out on the truly transformative effects that proper 5G dosing can deliver. A massive meta-analysis published in the Journal of the American Heart Association, reviewing over 68 randomized control trials, found that omega-3 supplementation at doses of 4 to 5G per day reduced C-reactive protein levels by an average of 30%, reduced triglycerides by up to 45%, and significantly decreased the inflammatory molecules that drive both cardiovascular disease and metabolic dysfunction. The mechanism is extraordinary because omega-3s, specifically EPA and DHA, get physically incorporated into your cell membranes throughout your entire body, changing the membranes from rigid and pro-inflammatory to flexible and anti-inflammatory, and from those membranes they are converted into specialized pro-resolving mediators called resolvins and protectins that actively shut down inflammatory pathways rather than just blocking symptoms like pharmaceutical anti-inflammatories do. For body composition, a study published in the International Journal of Obesity found that omega-3 supplementation at adequate doses activated genes involved in fat oxidation while simultaneously suppressing genes responsible for fat storage, essentially reprogramming your metabolism at the genetic level to preferentially burn fat rather than accumulate it. The muscle preservation effects are equally remarkable because researchers at Washington University School of Medicine demonstrated that omega-3 supplementation significantly enhanced muscle protein synthesis in older adults, effectively making the body more responsive to protein intake and exercise stimuli. To get your full 5 grams, look for a concentrated fish oil product that delivers high levels of combined EPA and DHA per serving, ideally in triglyceride form rather than ethyl ester form, since absorption is significantly better. And always take your fish oil with a meal containing dietary fat, because fat-soluble nutrients absorb dramatically better in the presence of other fats. Store your fish oil in the refrigerator to prevent oxidation, and always check for third-party purity testing to ensure you are not consuming heavy metals or rancid oils that would actually increase inflammation rather than reduce it. The compound coming up next takes a completely different approach and targets one of the sneakiest causes of stubborn inflammation that almost nobody is addressing. Number 3, fiber from psyllium husk. This one surprises almost everyone because when people think about fighting inflammation, burning fat, and building muscle, fiber is usually the last thing that comes to mind. But the scientific evidence showing that psyllium husk fiber at 5G daily can dramatically transform your inflammatory profile and body composition is absolutely compelling and comes from some of the most respected research institutions in the world. A landmark study published in the Archives of Internal Medicine found that higher fiber intake was independently associated with significantly lower levels of C-reactive protein. And when researchers at the University of Illinois specifically tested psyllium husk supplementation, they discovered it reduced systemic inflammatory markers by modulating the gut microbiome in ways that suppress the production of lipopolysaccharides, which are bacterial toxins that leak through a compromised gut wall and trigger body-wide inflammatory cascades. The fat loss mechanism is beautifully simple yet incredibly effective because psyllium forms a viscous gel in your digestive tract that slows the absorption of sugars and fats, which directly blunts insulin spikes after meals. And since insulin is the primary hormone telling your body to store fat, keeping it controlled means your body stays in a fat-burning state for longer periods throughout the day without any conscious effort on your part. Research published in the European Journal of Clinical Nutrition confirmed that participants taking psyllium before meals lost significantly more body fat than those who did not, even when total calorie intake was identical between groups, proving that it is not just about eating less, but about how your body processes what you eat. The muscle connection comes through improved nutrient partitioning because when insulin sensitivity is optimized, the protein and carbohydrates you consume are more efficiently directed toward muscle repair and glycogen storage rather than being converted to fat, effectively making every meal you eat more anabolic and less fattening. The proper way to take psyllium is to stir 5 GR into a large glass of water and drink it approximately 20 to 30 minutes before your largest meal of the day, and it is absolutely critical that you drink plenty of additional water throughout the day because psyllium absorbs many times its weight in liquid, and insufficient hydration can cause digestive discomfort. Start with a smaller dose for the first few days if you are not used to supplemental fiber, and gradually work up to the full 5 GE to allow your digestive system to adapt comfortably and your microbiome to adjust to the increased prebiotic substrate. What comes next is a compound that has been used for thousands of years, but modern science is only now revealing just how incredibly powerful it truly is for inflammation and body composition. Number 2, turmeric with curcumin extract. Turmeric has been used in traditional medicine systems for over 4,000 years, but it is only in the last 2 decades that modern science has uncovered exactly why this golden spice is so extraordinarily effective against inflammation. And the findings have been so impressive that curcumin, the active compound in turmeric, has become one of the most studied natural substances in all of biomedical research, with over 15,000 published papers investigating its effects. A pivotal clinical trial published in the Journal of Medicinal Food found that curcumin supplementation reduced C-reactive protein by an average of 36% and significantly decreased interleukin-6 and tumor necrosis factor alpha. And what makes curcumin unique among anti-inflammatory compounds is that it simultaneously modulates over 100 different molecular targets within inflammatory pathways, meaning it does not just block one pathway like a drug would, but instead orchestrates a comprehensive downregulation of the entire inflammatory response across your whole body. For fat loss, researchers at Tufts University discovered that curcumin directly inhibits the growth of new fat cells through a process called adipogenesis suppression, and it also promotes the browning of white fat tissue, essentially converting metabolically inactive storage fat into metabolically active fat that burns calories to generate heat, which is one of the most exciting discoveries in obesity research in the past decade. The muscle protection angle is equally fascinating because a study in the European Journal of Applied Physiology demonstrated that curcumin supplementation significantly reduced exercise-induced muscle damage markers, decreased delayed onset muscle soreness, and accelerated recovery between training sessions, meaning your muscles rebuild faster and stronger with less inflammatory interference slowing the process down. The critical challenge with turmeric is bioavailability, because curcumin on its own is very poorly absorbed from the digestive tract. So you need to take your 5 grams with a pinch of black pepper extract called piperine, which has been shown in research to increase curcumin absorption by up to 2,000%. And consuming it with a source of dietary fat further enhances uptake, since curcumin is fat soluble and dissolves into lipids for easier transport across intestinal walls. Look for a supplement that combines standardized curcumin extract with piperine already included, or simply mix turmeric powder into warm milk or smoothies with a dash of black pepper and a teaspoon of coconut oil to create a traditional golden milk preparation that maximizes absorption naturally. And now we have arrived at the single most powerful compound on this entire list, the one that research shows can do more for your inflammation, fat loss, and muscle growth than anything else at this precise dosing. Number 1, citrulline. Everything on this list so far has been impressive, but citrulline stands alone at the #1 position because it addresses the one fundamental mechanism that connects inflammation, fat accumulation, and muscle loss all together. And that mechanism is blood flow and nitric oxide production, which is something most people have never even considered when trying to improve their body composition and reduce chronic inflammation. A groundbreaking study published in the journal Free Radical Biology and Medicine found that L-citrulline supplementation at 5 grams daily increased nitric oxide bioavailability by over 35%. And nitric oxide is the molecule that tells your blood vessels to relax and expand, delivering more oxygen, more nutrients, and more immune-modulating compounds to every single tissue in your body, while simultaneously removing inflammatory waste products that accumulate and cause damage when circulation is poor. What makes citrulline superior to its more famous cousin, arginine, is that citrulline actually bypasses liver metabolism and converts to arginine in the kidneys with far greater efficiency, meaning you get sustained nitric oxide production over many hours rather than a brief spike that quickly disappears. And this sustained elevation is what creates the truly transformative effects researchers have documented. A clinical trial at the University of Ferrara demonstrated that citrulline supplementation significantly reduced inflammatory markers while simultaneously improving insulin sensitivity and glucose metabolism, directly attacking the metabolic dysfunction that causes your body to store fat and resist muscle building. The muscle growth connection is profound because enhanced blood flow means dramatically improved nutrient delivery to working muscles, better removal of metabolic byproducts like ammonia and lactate that cause fatigue, and increased activation of the mTOR pathway, which is the master regulator of muscle protein synthesis in your body. Researchers at the University of Córdoba confirmed that citrulline supplementation increased muscle protein synthesis rates and reduced muscle protein breakdown simultaneously, creating the optimal anabolic environment for lean tissue growth. For maximum effectiveness, dissolve your 5 grams of pure L-citrulline powder in water and take it approximately 40 minutes before any physical activity to maximize exercise blood flow, or take it first thing in the morning on rest days to support overall cardiovascular function and sustain nitric oxide production throughout the day. Citrulline has a slightly sour taste that mixes well with citrus juice, and consistency is absolutely essential because the nitric oxide boosting effects build progressively over several weeks of daily use, with most studies showing peak benefits emerging between weeks 3 and 6 of uninterrupted supplementation. So there you have it, 7 powerful compounds, each taken at 5 grams a day, that work together to create a comprehensive attack on chronic inflammation while simultaneously optimizing your body's ability to shed fat and build lean muscle. From glutamine healing your gut lining to collagen rebuilding your structural foundation. From creatine, if this video opened your eyes to something new today, please hit that subscribe button so you do not miss the next one. And thank you so much for watching.